The beaded backstitch can be used to make line drawings with beads or write words, and also outline motifs that are printed to your fabric. You can make totally beaded motifs with the beaded backstitch. The beaded backstitch is a stitch to use when you want a long, secure row of beads on your fabric. Start by putting on 3 seed beads. Let them fall down to the fabric, touching each other and the fabric, and hold them in place with your non-beading thumb. At the edge of the last bead you put on, pass the needle and thread through the fabric to the wrong side of the fabric and give the thread tension a nice tug. To reinforce this group of 3 beads, the needle and thread comes back through the fabric between bead 1 and 2, and without going into the fabric, the needle and thread is going to pass through bead 2 and out of bead 3. Once again, we'll start with another group of 3 beads, working in increments of 3. 3 more beads on my needle and thread. They fall down to the fabric, touching each other and the fabric, and I hold them in place with my non-beading thumb. At the end of bead 3, pass the needle and thread through the fabric to the wrong side, give your thread tension a nice tug, and then come up between bead 1 and 2 in this new increment. Pass the needle and thread out through bead 2 and 3. Give the thread tension a tug. If you want to make your line curve when you're doing the beaded backstitch, you put on 3 beads, let them fall down to the fabric, and then bend them in the direction you want to start the curve. Hold them in place with your non-beading thumb and put the needle and thread through the fabric at the end of the last bead, or bead number 3. Once again, come to the right side of the fabric between bead 1 and 2 and put the needle through bead 2 and out of bead 3. Let's add 3 more beads as we make this line curve. Always working in increments of 3 because you have more control of the line with smaller increments. Put on 3 beads, let them fall down the fabric in the direction you want the curve to go. Hold them in place with your non-beading thumb, and at the end of bead number 3, pass the needle and thread through the fabric to the wrong side. Second step, secure those 3 beads. The needle and thread comes through the fabric between bead 1 and 2. The needle and thread passes out of bead 2 and bead 3 without going through the fabric. Take a thread tension pull on your thread. Now that we have completed our line, I'm going to take an anchoring stitch to the wrong side of the fabric, come back up to the right side of the fabric, and we are going to straighten this row of beads or make it more smooth by passing the needle and thread through all of the beads in that entire row that we constructed. And we're going to keep passing through the beads. And now, passing through the final 2 beads in that bead line, I will take the needle and thread, pass it through the fabric to the wrong side of the fabric, and add an ending knot. But when you see our row of beads now, you can see how it is smoother